Hello and welcome to the daily discussion. My name is Ryan. I'm so glad to be your host. Today, we're going to be covering money management, mindset, ego, and of course, we're going to dive into the platform and look at some projects and maybe even have someone hop off of mute and we can look at a project together. My name is Ryan. This is the Vetter Platform Daily Discussion, and I am so glad that you are here today, and I'm glad to be your host. This is where we cover how best to utilize, hands down, the best research tool, which is the Vetter Platform. Now, this call will be interactive, so be sure to participate. If you have a question or comment, just feel free to raise your hand. I'll unmute you, or drop your comments or questions in the chat box, and I will communicate with you there. Now, whether you are a veteran in our community or you are brand spanking new, today I'm going to show you how best to utilize the best research tool to find your next 2x, 5x, 10x, and beyond. Now, if you happen to be watching this today and you don't hold Vetter tokens, go ahead and visit vetter.ai. Okay, go ahead and visit vetter.ai. There you'll be able to learn about what this platform is about, why we're so excited, and why the community is growing the way that it is growing. Now, before I jump into the topics of today's discussion, I did want to share a little bit about myself. My name, like I said, is Ryan, from Oklahoma, and I've been part of the Vetter community since early October. So just so I have a feel for who's on the line today, go ahead and drop in the comments how long you've been a part of the Vetter community. Now, I will say that I'm not a financial advisor. Everything shared on today's call is not financial advice. That's not what I do. All of this is, we're sharing ideas, and I'm sharing a platform and how best to utilize a platform to help you find your next project to get into. Also, a thing to mention, Vetter Platform is not a crystal ball. Someone told me or asked me one time, Ryan, hey, can you show me where the next presale is? I'm sorry, not presale, where the next 2x is or 5x is or 10x is. And I'm like, no, I can show you where the presales are, but I can't tell you which one's going to be, a 2x or a 10x. All we get to do is stack probabilities, and the more probabilities that you stack for your personal strategy gives you the chance of getting the kind of gains that you're looking for. One of the things I love about the Vetter community is crowdsourced intelligence, CI, crowdsourced intelligence. Okay, you may have heard of AI, artificial intelligence. CI is where people get together, they work together, they collaborate, they share ideas on projects that they have stumbled across, heard about, looking into, they want to get into, okay? And then the conversation goes on from there. What they like about the project, what they don't like about the project. That's, in my opinion, one of the best things about the Vetter platform is being able to collaborate and communicate with people from all over the world, okay? By utilizing this platform, it allows you to help you find the next projects that could be successes for your own personal strategy. I tell people all the time that the Vetter platform is a tool, okay? It's a tool, and it's a form of leverage. Leverage is the ability to do more with less, okay? Leverage is the ability to do more with less. So if you were to go outside and you were to try to lift up your car, that might be a bit challenging. But if you're to take the jack out, stick the jack underneath the car and utilize the jack to lift the car, that would be a much different experience. Why? Because the jack is a tool, and the jack is a form of leverage. Leverage is the ability to do more with less. That's what this platform is all about. So we're going to dive into this. And first off, let me just go over a couple of announcements here. Wednesday, okay, Wednesday the 27th, life-changing announcement in AMA. This is going to be happening in the main Telegram group, so be sure to be there. A lot of good stuff is happening. A lot of things are progressing at a really quick pace. So you don't want to miss that. So definitely be there for that AMA. Again, that is going to be April 27th, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. Also, we've been on Bloomberg and NASDAQ, a couple articles that were posted about the Vetter community there. So be sure to check those out. These announcements are in the main Telegram group. Now we're actually expanding the live content creation team. So if you like hosting live calls like this, if you enjoy public speaking, presenting, even if you've hosted a podcast before, I'd love to chat with you. If you believe in the better vision and ecosystem, and then you enjoy teaching and supporting others, I'd love to chat with you. If you've got those positive vibes, if you're energetic and charismatic, seriously, we have to have a conversation. Go ahead and connect with Phyllis at PSC100X, either on Telegram or in Discord, and just let her know that you're curious and you want to learn more about what it is to be part of the live content creation team. So without further ado, we're going to be talking about money management, mindset, and ego today. Okay? Money management, mindset, and ego. And in a way, they all go hand in hand. Because really, your ego feeds into your mindset, and your ego and mindset is also going to determine what money management, if any, if any, you're going to use. Okay? Let me repeat that. Your ego is going to feed your mindset, and your ego and mindset will determine what money management, if any, money management will be utilized in this space. So with that, let's jump into it. Money management. What do I mean by this? Think about money management as like the bread of a sandwich. Okay? You have the top piece of bread, you got the bottom piece of bread. And your trading strategy, your vetting process, well, how long you stay, all that stuff is like in between. But money management is the top bun and the bottom bun, okay? Everything else is in between. So let's say that you have $100 to invest, okay? You have $100 to invest, and you're like, well, Ryan, this is all I have, okay? And you want to get into a pre-sale. Okay, a pre-sale, some of the minimum allocations on the Binance network are 0.1 BNB, which is about $40. That's like 40% of the amount of money that you have invested. Okay, so you have $100 to invest to get into a pre-sale, $40 contribution, 0.1 BNB. And so now you're at a place where if you lose 40% of your equity ball. Okay? The money that you have to invest is called your equity ball. Your $100 is your equity ball. You get into a pre-sale, $40, and you just lost $40, and now you're down to $60. Okay? You just lost 40% of your equity ball. Guess what happens every day in the crypto space? Every single day, people in the day was less money than what they started. Okay? Don't be a statistic. Okay? So listen, if you only have $100, it may not be the best strategy for you to be investing in pre-sales on the Binance network if $40 is a minimum contribution. You may get to ask yourself, okay, either I get to change my strategies for the Binance network, or I go to another network where it's cheaper or more cost effective or what have you. Okay, so those are the choices you get to make. Okay, or you could quote unquote demo trade, as in continue to do your research, continue to look at projects, pretend like you got into the pre-sale, pretend like you claimed your tokens at launch, pretend like you knew exactly where you're going to close out a position once it launches, and pretend to jot that down in your notes and pretend that you made a profit. Okay? So let's say that you want to do the minimum contributions, but you don't have the money to do that. It's too risky. Okay? If you have a $100 equity ball, $100 in your equity ball account, and you put in a 0.1 BNB contributions, $40, that's 40% of your equity ball. That's way too risky, because if you lose, you're out 40%. If you lose again, all you have left is $20 and you can no longer do a pre-sale. You got 2 losses and you're out. That destroys your equity ball. Like the only way you make money in this game is by having money to invest. If you burn through it, it's gone. There's nothing you can do about it. So you got to ask yourself, what are your options? Like I said, the first thing you can say, well, I can find a different strategy for the Binance network. So maybe you're looking for projects that you know have good upside potential, and maybe you just wait to buy a dip. Maybe you just wait to buy a dip. Okay, and you would know that through your volume of launches, like we talked about maybe last week, and we talked about KSP last week. You know volume of launches in KSP, so you know that of the types of projects you're looking into, X amount are going to dip a certain percentage, and you know you could buy in there. So let's say you have $100 in your equity ball, and now what's a more appropriate risk? Maybe you could be like, well, okay, what if I did a what if I did 20 bucks? That's still kind of risky. That's 1/5 of your equity ball. If you did 10 bucks, that's 10%, 1/10. Okay, now we're talking, you do $5. Well, you're saying, well, Ryan, I can't do that. The gas fees, I get it. Okay, I get what you're saying. But like if you're willing to say you can't play that game because of the gas fees, it's getting too small, I'm willing to say perhaps your equity ball isn't large enough yet. You cannot make money and get in these pre-sales if your equity ball is zero. And the way your equity ball gets to zero is you're over leveraging and over risking. Okay, I see some people that have $400. They're like, well, you know what? Let me just go ahead and put one BNB in. Okay, let me put one BNB in because I got one BNB to give. What happens if you lose? You lose it all. You're gone. You're back to square one. Now, someone on the line, I know for a fact, someone's saying, well, Ryan, what happens if you win? Well, if you win, you turn your 100 into 200. Now, if you're really greedy, you may turn that, I'm sorry, not 100 to 200. If you're really greedy, you turn that 400 into 800. If you're real greedy, maybe you're swinging for the fence. You're like, you know what? It's all in or nothing. You're going for that 10X. And you turn that 400 into 4,000. Okay? Here's the problem. You now think that you're a genius. Okay? You got into a position, you over leveraged, you over risked, you put your entire equity ball into one position, one launch, one pre-sale, one BNB in, it 10Xs, you pull out $4,000, you think you are a crypto genius. Telegram groups are full of these knuckleheads. Here's the problem. You never had real money management in the beginning, and you're going to lose it. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because you didn't have money management in the beginning. You didn't have discipline in the beginning, and you just got straight up lucky by gambling. That's a gamble. If you got $100 to invest, you put it all in there. If you got $400 to invest, you put it all in there. That's gambling, my friends. And again, what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, you can treat this like a charity, okay, which would also kind of be like gambling. You can treat it like a hobby, which would also be like gambling, or you can treat it like a business and take it seriously and have real money management in place where you can't, where there's systems and processes in place where you can't over risk. Obviously, this takes discipline. So let's say that you only have $100 and you're like, okay, Ryan, you know what? I'm just going to start saving. Okay, so you save a little bit every paycheck, and maybe it takes you a month, or maybe it takes you 2 months, and you finally save up where you have $400. You have one BNB in your equity ball. Okay, and now you feel like, okay, if I put 0.1 in, it's only $40. Okay, I know, guys, I'm giving a lot of like numbers and scenarios. Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense. I know I'm just speaking instead of like showing actual numbers, but give me a thumbs up if this is making sense, okay? So you may get to have the discipline of, you know what? I can't afford, it's too risky right now. It's too risky, okay? But you save up, and over time, your equity ball increases, you're demo trading, quote unquote demo trading, you're treating it serious. You're watching the pre-sale, you're getting in the pretending to get in the pre-sale, you're pretending to claim your tokens, you're adding it to your volume of launches list, you're executing your money management plan, you're sticking to the script, okay? And over time, as you're practicing, as you're still learning, you're growing your equity ball, funding it by other sources. And now, maybe you're in a position where you can put in 0.1 BNB and it's only 10% of your account instead of 40%, okay? Maybe you get up to, $800. You got 2 B&B. And now when you put in 0.1, it's only 5%. And now if you lose, it doesn't end the game for you. Okay? It doesn't end the game. If you can start the day, I mean, think about it this way, guys. If you only have $100 in your account and you feel like you're FOMO'd out, like, oh my goodness, everybody else is making money, I can't make money. Realize if you start the day and end the day with the same amount, you're doing better than 99% of people out there. like literally not getting in is better performance than some people who are losing everything. Okay, so there's no rush. We've got the best calendar on the planet. There's pre-sales left and right. Okay, there's always another pre-sale. Okay, there's always another pre-sale around the corner. Okay, so that's the top bun. Okay, that money. Oh, let's call it the bottom bun. We won't call it the foundation. We'll build everything else on top of that. So that money management getting in is the bottom bun, the bottom slice of bread. Okay, now you get in, and this is what you like, and you're going to execute your other money management plan, and that's the top bun. Okay, the top bun is when do you get out? That's also part of your money management. We talked about this with the volume of launches. We talked about sticking to your script, sticking to the plan. So when do you exit? Are you looking for a 1.5x? Are you looking for a 2x? Are you looking for a 3x? I don't know. It's all up to you. Based on your volume of launches, what types of projects do you like? And what are their track record of those projects? That's what will tell you what your bread and butter should be. Okay. So literally, yeah, as Cesar is saying, if you sit at the bus stop, there'll be no shortage of buses. You don't got to get on every bus. There's always another one coming, brother. There's always another one coming. Like with these launches, literally they're happening all day, every day. We got the calendar, literally. Make sure you got your stuff in order, okay? So your money management on the flip side is you get to stick to the plan, okay? No greed, okay? No greed. If you said you're going to get a 2x, close out at 2x. If you say you want to get a 1.5x, close out at 1.5x. No FOMO. Stick to the plan. Especially stick to the plan because like the more your equity ball grows, the more projects you can get into and or the higher allocations you can have or the higher contributions you can have. Okay? So the game is to protect your equity ball and then grow your equity ball. Number one rule, protect it first. Protect it. There's always another option. There's always another opportunity. There's always another launch. It's always going to happen. Always. There's always another one. You miss one this hour, there's another one happening an hour later and tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Now, the only reason this money management idea and concept will work is if you have the proper mindset and ego. Okay, the proper mindset. You get to realize that your emotions are high, that you want to FOMO in, that you don't want to miss out, that everybody's jumping on the bus and you want to make sure you get a seat too. Just like Cesar said, there's another bus. It's coming. Don't worry. It's coming. It'll be here tomorrow. It's okay. But you get to be comfortable and understand that if you don't get in a position today, it's okay. If you don't have the funds to negate the risk, it's okay. You can still work the craft. Nothing changes. Whether you're using real money or you're using it on like your paper trading, it's still the same process, guys. It's the exact same process. This is one of the things that I find missing in the crypto space. In the Forex space, this is taught heavily. But in the crypto space, like I said, people put, one BNB, this is all the money they have, one BNB in, it goes to 10x, they make $4,000, they think they're crypto genius. Okay? We're not doing that here. We're not amateurs. Okay? We're not amateurs on this call. Okay? We're treating this like a business. We're treating it like we're professional. We take it seriously. So the mindset, you get to have the discipline to recognize you're not losing, you're winning. Every time you stick to your money management plan, you're winning. Okay? When you go to the gym and you work out a muscle, it's painful. It hurts. Okay? It hurts to have discipline. It's painful. But over time, you get the end result. See, you get to focus on what you want most versus what you want now. Okay, sometimes in the now, we don't want to experience that pain of waiting. We don't want to experience the pain of discipline. Okay, that's not what we wanted to experience. We want the end result. And we think that if we jump in right now and we FOMO in with our entire equity ball, or 40% of it or 50% of it, that's the thing that's going to make the difference. No. The workouts. So I'm an endurance athlete, and I do triathlons, and when I have a race, and I lead up for 12 to 16 weeks preparing for a race, which workout is the most important? Go ahead and type it in chat. Which workout do you think is the most important? If I'm preparing to do an Ironman triathlon, which workout do you think is the absolute most important workout? You know, I spend hours a week training, sometimes 25, 30 hours a week training. Which workout is hands down the most important? Every single one of them. Every workout. Every single workout is the most important one. There's not one that makes it. Every single one of them compounded over time. There's a book called The Slight Edge. I'll definitely do a topic on this. Maybe I'll talk about this on Friday. There's a book called The Slight Edge. Hands down, one of my favorite books, personal development books. And it's about the simple daily disciplines, or the simple errors in judgment compounded over time. The simple daily disciplines, or the simple errors in judgment compounded over time. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, if I have a bad session, if I go to the track and I'm supposed to be running fast, and like I don't run as fast as what I think I should, and I go tell my coach, I'm like, man, you know, like it was rough today. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I thought I could be better. His response to me is always the same. It's always been the same. He said, you know, Ryan, did you get it done? Did you get it done? And I'm like, well, yeah, I got it done. He's like, that's all that matters. Because he recognizes, and what I've learned is, it doesn't matter the result I get today, as long as I keep showing up every single day, because race day comes, we're going to get the result that we want. The simple daily disciplines compounded over time. Okay, so that mindset of recognizing, hey, it's okay. It's okay if I don't get in. Okay, and when you have proper money management, it's also okay if you lose, because losses are going to happen. But when you lose 40% of your account, it hurts pretty bad compared to when you lose 2%. See, when you lose 2%, it's no big deal. Mentally, it's 2%. You had good money management in place. When you lose 50%, 40%, 100%, it's game over. That can wreck you, both mentally and actually. Like your equity curve, or equity ball is like destroyed. Okay? So that's a little bit on the mindset. So here's where the ego kicks in. As I'm talking, there's people in chat sharing, hey, yeah, I love that book. And yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah, that makes sense. And this is good stuff. And I know because my ego flares up too. Okay. Ego can come from two places. Ego can come from the place of, I have no clue what he's talking about right now, and I'm too embarrassed to raise my hand and ask a question because I don't want to look silly. That's called ego. The other side of this is, I know all about mindset. I know all about money management. I don't need to listen to this. It's no big deal. He's not saying anything new. That's ego as well. Ego protects you, tries to protect you. Ego tries to protect you from looking silly or being embarrassed. Ego tries to say that you are the best or you're right. You already know it. You don't need new information. Both things stop you from reaching the next chapter. Okay, the next chapter of growth, the next chapter of development. Okay, your ego is what stops you from hitting that next level. Okay, so your ego may be saying, well, I don't need money management. You know, what I'm doing right now is fantastic. It works just fine. Okay, bro, keep it up, man. Fine. I'm not here to argue with you. Okay, if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, okay, fine. But like the ego The moment that you're able to check your ego and recognize that's what's coming up and be like, okay, look, I really don't want to take notes right now, but you know what? That's probably my ego speaking, that I already know this. Let me just go ahead and write this down anyway. That's the starting point of change right there. That's the starting point of the next level. The next chapter of life starts right then. The moment that you can recognize that your ego is flaring up and you're like, okay. I know this before, but you write it down anyway. That right there, my friends, that right there is the shift. That right there is a shift. Do you know that some people don't hop on these daily discussion calls because they already know it all? They already have all the answers. And maybe they do. Maybe they do. But Jim Rohn said it best. Jim Rohn said, you go to events, you read books, you take courses. Why? Perhaps you have 3 of the 4 combinations keyed into the lock, and you're missing that 4th number. And because you went to an event, because you showed up, because you went to the training, because you took the class, because you read the book, it gives you that 4th number and allows you to unlock the combination. It was the missing piece, the missing key. So I acknowledge you guys for being here and being here consistently, because you realize that you're here collecting information, you're collecting data, and over a period of time, you will get the answers that you're searching for. And whether it be from one of my sessions or from Phyllis's session, from Sarah, from John, it's about showing up and taking notes and asking questions, and you will find what you're looking for. As Cesar said, seek and you shall find. Okay, now let me get caught up on the chat real quick. Okay, so we got some fans of the Slight Edge. That's fantastic. Absolutely. Slight Edge is a fantastic book. I'll go over that on Friday. I like that. Teresa said she's guilty. Yeah, Teresa, I'm guilty as well. You know, when I first started, yeah, I was like, I would have some money, and all of a sudden I wouldn't have any money because I was investing all that I had, and it was like, okay, this has to work, or it can't. There's no room for error. And as we know, as we've talked about, the only control you have over these launches is all the research you do leading up to it. Once it goes live, it's out of your hands. Zero control. Okay, so again, to just recap and circle up on what we talked about, money management, you want to have a clear plan before you get into a project and a clear plan to get out of the project. No in between. You know exactly what your strategy is, what you want to do, how you want to execute. Okay. If you have a small equity ball right now, which is like $100, if you have a small account right now and you put in a minimum contribution in the pink cell, which is a 0.1 BNB, which is around $400, that's 40% of your account. If you lose that, man, you only got one more loss in you. That's not a good strategy, in my opinion. That's too risky for me. That's too much like gambling. Okay, take some time, paper trade, use the volume of launches worksheet that I sent out, and paper trade, and treat it seriously like a business. Grow your equity ball up over time through saving or selling stuff or whatever. And when you have enough to where you can lose and you don't think twice about it, you're in a place where you can actually, start doing some good stuff. Okay, losses are going to happen, but when losses, destroy and delete your equity ball, I mean, that's game over, guys. Okay, so you get to have the proper mindset, obviously, to have good money management. You get to realize that what you want most is more important than what you want now, and that FOMO is for the weak. You're not going to FOMO in. You're going to stick to your plan. If your plan is put in a 0.1, you put in a 0.1. Okay, if you've got a $10,000 account and your plan is to put in a 0.1 and you put in a 0.2, that, my friends, is not sticking to the money management. If your plan was a 0.1, you stick with a 0.1. You get to change your money management before it's time to pull the trigger. Otherwise, that's just FOMO. Okay, again, we're professionals. We're not amateurs. We're professionals here. Last thing, ego. Okay, some people are even afraid to even to bring up a question in chat sometimes. Some people are afraid to ask for help. Some people are afraid to say, hey, I have no clue what's going on. Your ego will keep you stuck. Okay, the ego protecting yourself of looking embarrassed or being silly. I make mistakes all the time. It's just part of it. I mean, there's been times I've been on this call and like I think it was like it was with Crow Market. I'm talking about this MM finance thing, and then I'm talking about like this Meerkat finance. I had no clue it was the same company. Like, you know, mistakes are going to happen. Who cares? Let's just roll with it. Yeah, this is a safe place. You know, we're all helping each other out here. Who cares if you got an off the wall question? Have the courage to ask it. On the flip side, let's say that you are experienced and you have a ton of knowledge and information. Great. Great. The moment that your mind says, hey, I know this, I don't need to write this down, check your ego and write it down anyway, because that, my friends, could be the key that unlocks the next chapter. Okay, the key that unlocks the next chapter. So with that, does anybody have any questions on money management, mindset, and ego before we jump into the next thing? If you have anything you want to share, feel free to raise your hand or drop it in the comment. You're more than welcome to. Let's see. Yeah, Sarah, go ahead and unmute.
Evening.
Hi.
Just saying hello from England. Hence
Hi.
the accent is slightly different to yours. So say, for example, you have a 2x.
Yeah.
But in order for you to, I'm trying to process it myself, you have to consider the tax of selling, isn't it? So it would be 2x altogether after tax in series. So say, for example, it's like, 12% or something like that. Then it will be the 2x after that. I don't know if I'm making it make sense, but yeah, is that something you have to calculate? Otherwise, it won't be a 2x, will it?
Yes, correct. Yes, so that goes into the details on your volume of launches. Absolutely. So yes, so what Sarah is asking is mathematically, yeah, okay, if you have if you put in $40 and you pull out at 2x, you have $80. But what Sarah's asking is, what about tax? So some of these projects have different taxes, and also something to be aware of. When we treat it like a business, we get to know what the tax is before we pull out. Okay. Sometimes at launches, there are higher taxes. There was a project I saw that I think it had like a 40% tax last week or something. And so you get to factor that in as part of your money management, realizing that okay, it may be at my threshold, but I get to factor in that extra 40% where I get to wait and take the gamble. That comes through a volume of launches. Yeah, to Sarah's point, absolutely. You get to factor in your taxes to make sure that you get your full 2x or your full, whatever your money management is, 2x, 5x, 10x, 1.5x. You do get to factor in the tax for each project. That's a good question. Thanks, Sarah. Anybody else have any questions or comments before we hop into the next thing? All right, let's see here. Okay, so if you're new, if you're watching this brand new for the first time, I just want to run through this real briefly to just show you just some basic information on the Vetter platform. Now, to access the Vetter platform, you're going to go to vetterplatform.app. Okay, and you're going to log in using your MetaMask and obviously the wallet that you have Vetter in. Okay, and up here at the top, you're going to see this is the Vetter board. This is our dashboard for Vetter, and you're going to see these roles right here: Scout, Vetter, Voter. And the way this ecosystem works is there's 3 roles in the ecosystem. You have a Scout who goes out and finds projects, and they add projects to the calendar, and they add just a little bit of information. And then the next role is a Vetter. They come along and they add a lot of information. And I'll show you an example of what this looks like here in a minute, and we'll just go over a project together. And then the Vetter will do a deeper dive. They may look at what is information about the team, like are they doxed, and have they done AMAs, and what's the Telegram environment like, and they're going to do a lot deeper dive research. Now, you may be wondering, well, why is this important? Well, this is where it allows you to save time and energy. Earlier, I talked about how Vetter is a tool and it can be used, and it's leverage. And this allows you to leverage other people's time and energy. They did the research, they looked up at the information, and this can allow you to say, you know what, I do or I don't want to continue to learn about this project, and which is awesome. Okay. The other role is a voter. Now, voters, they come along and they vote based on whether the project was successful or not for a Scout, and whether it was helpful or not for a Vetter. Now, all 3 of these, you actually earn Vetter tokens by posting, which is pretty cool. So some projects, they pay out based on you just holding a token. You hold ABC tokens and it's like auto staking, auto compounding, your tokens grow. Other places offer rewards via like, USDC, USDT, BUSD, wrap BNB, whatever the rewards are. You hold the token, you get free rewards. And so the way Better is, because it's crowdsourced model, we want to encourage interaction and people working together and working collectively and sharing that information. And so that is why the Better tokens are paid that way. Okay. And so, yeah, you get paid as a scout, you get paid as a Better, you get paid as a voter by contributing to the community. So the whole idea is to reward people by contributing. Next, you'll see a hot list, and these are just from some projects from some scouts that have a good track record. You'll see that here. Here is just a mini version of the calendar, and we'll take a deeper look at that in just a minute. Over here on the left, team stats. These are just members of the community who have been paid Better by doing the tasks I mentioned up here. So this person, LDN100X, they've received over 69,000 Better as being tipped. Okay, so when you find a project that you like and you want to tip the scout or tip the Better, you can actually tip people. That's what these are right here. People tipped for these projects. Pretty cool concept. Right here, top paid scout, top paid Better. This person has earned over close to 700,000 Better simply by submitting projects to the calendar and vetting those projects. Okay, right here, you're going to see the tips and gains section. And this is where these people are recording gains. This is a project that we talked about the last couple of weeks. So Crypto Gal tipped Gordon Gecko 1,000 Better. Okay, so Crypto Gal got a 3x, tipped Gordon Gecko 1,000 Better for this project called Crow Market. Pretty cool concept. It's a way for you to give back. It's a way for you to show appreciation for those different projects. And you can see some of these scouts down here. These are the people who tipped, and these are the people who received those tips. Right here, you have the ranking system. Okay, tier 0, you have limited access. Okay, at tier 1, you're able to see the ICO information. That's 10,000 Better. Okay, at tier 2, you're able to see the Better information, which is 25,000 Better. At tier 3, which is 100,000 Better, you're able to see the color-coded rankings, so you can see these different color codings, and also you're able to vote. And the minimum, my opinion, and my I don't want to say recommendation because that would be financial advice, but my opinion is that this is where the fun starts. This right here is sufficient for all the good things in the community, and it's a really great place to start. And the best part about this is right here is like you can actually earn tokens by contributing. Meaning, I was talking to a scout a few months back, and he got at a certain space, he got into the community at a certain level, and over time has made ranks moving up the list by contributing in these ways over here, by scouting, by doing vettings, by voting. And so his bag is increased simply by contributing, which is a really cool concept. And then tier 4 is over 500,000 Better, and you're able to do some advanced features like the follow me system, where you could actually follow other users, as well as having access to the Better Trading Club calls. And that is a group of community members who work together and find projects and document the process. Share the things that they like and dislike about the different projects, and they just they show the whole process. So right here, we'll just go ahead and click on the calendar here, and this is the calendar. Now, when you first look at it, it can be a little overwhelming. It looks like a lot of information here, and it is a lot of information. Okay, but just know that this is a tool, and now the job and process is how best to utilize this tool. Okay, so if you can see down here, this lighter color here, this is kind of darker, this is kind of a lighter color. This is the date. Okay, this is today. Okay, so first of all these other projects may not be relevant, but today is relevant. Okay, but the way we sift through all this information is you can select network, and you can see, okay, what projects are launching on Avalanche. And when you click it, these are the projects that are launching on Avalanche. Now it's limited your options. Okay, it allows you to focus a little bit better. Okay, we can check out Chronos. What projects are launching on Chronos? Okay, here's Crowcell. Okay, what projects are launching on Ethereum? Okay, here are projects launching on Ethereum. So it allows you to narrow your focus and get dialed in and see, based on your own strategy, based on your own risk tolerance, there could be different networks that you like better than the other. Okay. Next, you can search by projects that are launching, strictly on, PinkCell. So when you click that, these are the projects launching on PinkCell. Okay. Next up is category. So this would be like, gaming or meme or NFT rewards. This is the type of project that these are. So if you're really into the gaming projects and you like PinkCell, you would select PinkCell and gaming. Now these are projects that are launching on PinkCell and they are gaming tokens. Next, you can search based on the type of event. So if it's a private sale, which is like early access, next would be a pre-sale, which comes before the launch. And then fair launches means they don't have a pre-sale, it's just launching. And then IDOs. And IDOs are kind of a special category where in order for you to invest in an IDO, you could actually hold tokens on that platform. So for example, BSCPad is a platform that has launches. In order for you to invest in a project on BSCPad, you get to hold a lot of tokens on BSCPad, and you'd be able to get in those IDOs. That's how that works, okay? Next up, you can search, purple only or, green plus, beige plus, and, it filters it that way, okay? And then over here, you can also search, different things. Let's say that you only want to look at projects that have been vetted only. When you click that, this means that someone scouted it. Right here, they scouted it, and then they vetted it. So we'll just go into look at this project real quick. This is a project that came onto my radar last week, posted by Captain Kurt as a scout and Metaloride as a vetter. And both these guys are great guys. Metaloride is doing a fantastic job with some of the projects he's been vetting and bringing up. He's a new vetter as well. He's doing a rock star job. Excuse me. So the way this works is the scout provides basic information. Okay, the symbol where it was found on PinkCell. Okay, it's a private cell, pre-sale. It's a rewards token. It was on PinkCell. It's on the Binance network. Has a soft cap of 50. It was posted on the 17th. Here's a Telegram link right here. Here's a website link right there. And here's the positives that Captain Kurt says. World's first metaverse project with highest auto staking and compounding APY every 15 minutes, which is 96 times a day, with a fixed APY of over, is that what, 2 million? Yeah, 2 million. Super deflationary with huge burn in place. Play the Petoverse MMORPG adventure with play to earn NFT, Peto ads, 360 VR, dual currency, no team tokens, double security, no access to auto liquidity, Inferno wallet liquidity locked for 10 years, double KYC, rug doc and PinkCell, massive marketing with top KOLs, influencers, celebrities on board. Okay, right now he has his red flags here. 8,600 Telegram members, has a contact address, and it looks like this is some information from, here's a PinkCell. So this is basically saying they're running the pre-sale from the 25th to the 29th. Okay, and here's information on the PinkCell. Okay, so that's the scout information, just basic information here. Next, we have the vetter information. Now with this time, Metaloride just left this for the scout and he came in and started adding the other details. Okay, so right here, this is the time between 3 days later. Captain Kurt said that there were 8,600 members in Telegram, and a couple of days later, there's now 10,500, so about 2,000 more in a couple of days. Okay, and he's had some notes here. These are some of the things that he's observing as he's looking at this project. And these are some of the questions that he asked and the answers that he got back. Okay, and so this is helpful because it allows you to, one, get a quick glance. Okay, I like this. Let me look more. Okay, let me see what the vetter has said about this. Okay, here's a link to the AMAs they've done. Here's a team notes. This is all the information for the team. So he has put this information together so you can actually do research on the team if you'd like to do that. Okay, down here, It says it's launching on PancakeSwap on April 30th. Okay, these are some of his notes. Great looking website, very good communication with the team. Never left a question they had unanswered. That's a really good sign. If they didn't know an answer, they got back to me right away with someone who did know. That's really good. He said it's a cool looking game. He feel high quality games are a big thing at the moment between the YouTube demos and the community hype. I feel this will do well. Okay, so he sees community hype. He likes the YouTube videos and content that he's seen. And so what this allows you to do is, this allows you to view this project based on our searching criteria over here. You know, let's say that we're looking for, you know, games, and, you know, we're looking for, you know, Binance, and let's see. Yeah. You know, so, oh, whoops, that's not what I want to do. So this allows you to find, search these things that way, okay? You start clicking on these projects, see if it's something you want to get into, see if it's something you want to do a little bit more deeper research on, okay? So now what you would want to do is, now it's time to do your due diligence, okay? So we can do this together. If anybody wants to, you know, hop off of mute, and we can just kind of briefly go over this together. We got about 10 minutes until the call is wrapped up. But if you want to hop off mute and we want to chat through this together, feel free. We can take a look at this.
Can I ask you just one really quick question? This is just super fast. So,
yeah, hey David, how's it going?
Doing great, man. I want to be a trial vetter. So how do I start the process? Does someone have to press a button and get me into something?
Yes. I've reached out. I will reach out to Phyllis for her to get in touch with you. I know you sent me a message, and I did get back to you, but I will follow up on that to make sure that that gets going. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hey, absolutely. Yeah. Does anybody want to hop on and talk about this project together? We can take a look at it, share some thoughts on it. One of the things I like right away is the extensive information that's been provided by Metal Red on the team. Okay, team is really important. What I'm looking for in a team, they don't necessarily have to be doxxed. I don't mind if they're doxxed or not. I like the fact that if they acknowledge not being doxxed, and what that means is, are they known? Have they shared their socials? Have they done a video? Does someone know who they are? Okay, I don't mind if a team is not doxxed if they address it head on. Sometimes I feel kind of curious when they don't address it, like they just pretend that it's not a thing. But here's some things to think about when you're looking at a team. Okay, are they doxxed? What is the age? What's the age of the team? How old are they? Are they young guys who got lucky gambling in crypto, or do they have an extensive experience in the crypto space? Have they done other projects together? How many projects have they done together in the crypto space? How many projects have they done together outside of the crypto space? Are they professionals in their own right? So for example, did they spend 30 years in the insurance industry, developing teams and working with, you know, different groups? You know, what is their track record? All these things matter. I have found that some projects that have an older team, to me, it seems like they have a little bit more resilience. Where they may lack directly on the tech side, they make up for on the resilience side, and they've seen stuff. You know, they've gone through stuff. They've checked their ego. They've worked on their mindset, and they have a track record. And while someone may argue, well, that has nothing to do with crypto, and I'm well, it's everything to do with leadership and ways of being and persistence and resilience. And they don't just quit whenever they run into an obstacle. You know, I would be willing to say in the crypto space, you know, this is the Wild West. This is the startup phase all over again for our generation. And like, it's more likely that something will go wrong at multiple points of the project. Okay. It's more likely that something will go wrong. So just accept the fact that it's going to go wrong, but watch what the team does when it does go wrong. That's how you recognize good leaders, good project team, when they address things that don't go as planned, because it's inevitable. I mean, the teams that think they're just going to knock it out of the park and they're not going to run into any obstacles, I mean, they're surprised when it happens. Okay. So that's what I look for. I look for teams, how they handle that stuff. Okay. So prior projects, prior experience, you know, so sometimes on Pink Cell, they'll do a KYC. I'll just pull this up so we can see it. And so just take that for what it's worth. So this is where they're running the pre-sale. Okay, this project is going to be a fair launch, meaning you have 3 days and 21 hours to contribute to this project. Okay, 3 days and 21 hours. Okay, until it's wrapped up. They had a soft cap of 50 BNB. They've currently raised 1,055 BNB. I think this has a potential to be pretty big since there's 3 days. I mean, close to 4 days left. Let's see, where were we at? Oh, KYC. Take this for what it's worth. There are some projects that launch on Pink Cell that they have the KYC, but at the end of the day, they're still crooks. And I'm not saying these guys are crooks, but I'm just saying that, like, you can't give much credit to this. Okay, you can't give much credit to this. Now, when they're sharing their own LinkedIn accounts, now we're talking. When they're sharing their own Instagram or Twitter or TikTok, when they're sharing their own socials, hey, now we're getting somewhere. Now you look to see if it's real and legit, okay? But this right here, I think it's more vanity. You know, if I was going to score it, I'd put it as like, it would get some points, but like, again, that can be faked, okay? Audits, you know, one of the things that Cesar had brought up, and I'm really curious about as well. You know, some audits are better than others, you know, because of the price tag attached to it. You know, an audit from a no-name company, and you're like, hey, what is this? Is this even real? Versus an audit from Surtech, where people had to pay a significant amount of money to get it audited. That can go a long way in your research, okay? Just looking at those little things can support you, okay? Now, has a team done AMAs? Let's look and see if they've done any AMAs. Right here, here's a link to 4 AMAs they've done. So they've done 4 AMAs. That's pretty awesome. Well, we can check that out here. I don't actually know where this took us. Let's see here. Okay, how we get to search. So when you go to their Telegram group, which you can access that right here, here's a link directly to their Telegram. Okay, so you can come up here and you can search AMA. Okay, and you start going through here to see where, and I was actually on this part of this earlier today. They were doing an AMA today in this Discord group. I had a pretty good amount of people there. But so you go and you start searching that information there. If you want to check out one of the AMAs, listen to a recording or something like that. Hey, Cesar, go ahead and unmute, brother.
Hey. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to comment on, you know, because you're going through and looking at some of those notes, but, you know, I just to kind of back what you said, I think that, you know, looking for little clues like the KYC or like the audit and stuff like that, it gives you a little bit more peace of mind, right? But we've certainly seen projects that had everything checked off the list and still, like you said, you know, it's a new space, it's new tech. You know, anytime you're dealing with innovation, things can go wrong. So just wanted to make one comment, which was like a theme that I see repeated many times in the space, really goes back to community and the leadership of the team. So like you were talking about, right? Look, things are going to go however they go, right? But can the team shift and react and communicate accordingly and keep people informed, keep people feeling like, hey, you know, we're looking at it and we're doing our best, right? And it's incredible that you see some projects that have, you know, very little substance behind the token or behind the project, but they're just the guys running the community. They're just incredible team builders and community builders, and they just bleed that leadership of, hey, we're going to the moon because we know how to rally people behind a cause, right? So don't rule that out, guys. As you're looking for these, look for teams that can build community, that can build momentum and hype around something, because it goes a long way. And of course, you know, look for some substance beneath it all for longevity. But there's something to be said about just a group that can build and rally a community. It can go a long ways. It really
absolutely
can.
No, you're absolutely right. And you know what Cesar is talking about is we didn't even take a look at the website because we're getting ready to run out of time. but we covered a little bit about the audit. We talked about the AMA, we talked about the team, the marketing, things like that, okay? And what we're talking about is we're stacking probabilities based on our own experiences, okay? So this is the plus side, this is the negative side, okay? And so each one of us individually is gonna have pros and cons that we're looking for. And what Cesar and I are saying is, there are some projects like the KYC badge, it's just kind of like vanity. But if they have a CertTech, maybe that just gives us a plus because we know that it took something to get that, okay? Now, let's say that they may not have a great project, but strong leadership. They're great at building community. They're great at getting people excited. They're great at getting people plugged in and onboarded. A lot of projects can't do that. So like what Cesar is saying, as you're documenting this process, you're going to start finding patterns. Like you're going to start looking at certain teams, and like they're going to have certain traits that you're looking for because you realize that that is based on your KSP, knowledge of system performance, that is what you like to stack. Okay, you recognize that you may have criteria to get into a trade or a position. Maybe like literally they have a CertTech audit, and they are fantastic at building community. And you realize after a volume of trades, those two things alone, I'm not saying this is an idea to take and run with, you get to test it. I'm just for illustrative purposes only, okay? But CertTech audit and the fact that they have a leadership mastery group that can enroll people, get people excited, get people plugged in and onboarded, those two things maybe are enough to where you get in 10 of these and 6 of them knock it out of the park. Okay, I won't know that, you won't know that until you actually document this, but that's what we're saying. There, no one thing is a deal breaker, just in general. For some people, you know, something is a deal breaker, but it comes down to you personally, your personal experience of the volume of launches, your personal KSP of knowing that like, if it's got enough over here, you're good to go, and you'll swing the bat 10 out of 10 times because you know it's going to connect X amount of times. And that's what we're talking about. No one thing is a deal breaker for me personally, because sometimes where people are weak, they're stronger in areas where it's really important. So for example, really good marketing or a system that actually brings in revenue. Okay. So like where there's actually money to coming in and they can continue to feed the project and process. So, hey, this is a great call, guys. Thank you for your contribution and what you've shared today. We're going to wrap up. We got about a minute left. Does anybody else have any comments or questions or things they want to add in before we hop off here? I did want to mention I'm liking this project so far. You know what I'm seeing with Petoverse. I'm going to keep looking at it a little bit more. But there's 3 days and 21 hours left, so. I would definitely encourage you to add this to your volume of launches. Add it to the worksheet. Document it. You know, look at some of the questions that people are asking in their Telegram. Ask some questions yourself. See if you can find any red flags. See if there's things that you like about it. And you know, if you're still building your equity curve, hey, don't worry, equity ball. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about getting in. Worry about taking notes and paper trade this sucker. Okay, paper trade it. Treat it like a business. Okay. And when it's time to claim, you show up on Pink Cell and pretend to claim. You write in your volume of launches how much you claimed. Okay, you show up on launch day when they launch on PancakeSwap, and you show up on Dex Screener, or you show up on KuCoin. You pull up the chart and you take it seriously and treat it just like you were in the game, just like you have skin in the game. And you do that enough over time as you're building your equity ball. And when you have the funds to get in, you'll be ready to go. Okay, you'll be ready to go. So with that being said, we're going to wrap up today's call. Hey, if this was helpful, go ahead and drop a comment in Telegram, letting everybody else know that this was a helpful call. You got a lot of value. And go ahead and share what your biggest takeaway was, okay? Share what your biggest takeaway was for today's session. And so with that, we're going to be out. Phyllis is going to be here tomorrow, same time, same place. And like we always end it, life can be short. So for those that you care and love, let them know you care and love them. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for being a part of this awesome community. We are doing some amazing things in the crypto space, and it's getting better and better every day. So with that being said, we'll see you in Discord. We'll see you in Telegram, and see you tomorrow at Phyllis's session. Same time, same place. Bye for now.